Alright, today what I'm going to do is I got the wire and harness and adapter and new radio for the Explorer. So for a 2004 Ford Explorer, this is the wire and harness adapter, and according to the color code on the back of this here, as you can see, it says that the solid blue is for a power antenna. I don't have a power antenna, so I'm not going to worry about that one. But these are the two that I think I'm going to need. I need to tape and cover these up because I don't have an amp, and not going to bother with getting one. And excuse me, once I'm done, this is the adapter to go into the dash. All the pieces are inside, so I will set that up later. And there's the part number for that. Alright. That's that. I've opened that. These are pre-stripped. As you can see, they didn't pull them off completely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to label. I got some tape and Sharpie, and I'm going to label all the wires. After I'm done, I have some wire shrink to put the lines together. So the plan is hook all this up, take the radio out to the truck, make sure that when I turn it on, it turns on. I can hear sound when I go to fade the balance to left or right, that works. And at that point, then I'll come back and actually solder it. So I have my little soldering buddy that I picked up a couple of weeks ago. I have some solder here and old school soldering iron. So let's get started. And that's the radio. The wire harness for the radio isn't stripped, so I'll have to actually strip the wires, and they've only marked one on here. So I'll have to get the instruction manual to see what those are. That's the face. It's a detachable face. It seems like that's all they sell. I couldn't find one that wasn't a detachable face and a single DIN. The microphone for the Bluetooth for the phone, and a remote control. I adjusted the brightness. I hope that's better, because it looked like everything was washed out. So let me know. Leave a comment if I got that a little bit better. All right, radio's unpacked. I can close this up. bag within a bag within a bag. Some important screws. Keep those with the remote. I believe this is to get this guy off. There's a bracket that needs to go on. Sure, I could read the instructions, but who wants to do that? That's no fun. There. I'll figure that out later. I'm not ready to mount this yet anyway. So leave that in there with that. That's the radio there. What we need out of here is the wire diagram for the wire and harness. Okay, found it. All right, it's two different manual, covers two different radios. The one I have is the 4280 BT. This is the wire and diagram that we have to use. I'm sure that they're probably similar, but I want to stick with this one. I don't want to use this one and end up wiring it wrong. So let's see what the black one is. Alright, black wire is your ground. So marked it with a little piece of tape, and then it's ground. Ran out of space. I didn't plan ahead. Let me see if I can get you a little bit better so you actually see what I'm doing. I'm working up here and I look, and all you're going to see is my wrist. Alright, let's see if that's better. Alright. So the white ones are our left. So we have left positive, left negative. So let's strip those. Alright, so solid white is positive. So L plus on there, and white with the black stripe. Is the left negative. Gray. Gray are next. Oh, what happened there? Alright, the gray is the right side. I guess I should mark these with an F too, because these are the fronts. I'll have to end up with the left front and the right rear. Alright, so I can correct that mistake now rather than soldering the wires together and making a finding out the hard way that I made that mistake later. So this is the right, the black stripe is the negative. So we need to do R negative, R positive, and on the other side we'll put a big F. Same thing on this side, put a big F. And on the white ones, we'll put a big F. It's kind of gratifying writing an F. I wonder why, if that's why teachers use them so much. It's a big fat F. There. Okay. Next is, no offense to any teachers in the audience. It was just a joke. I've seen a few Fs in my day. They weren't fun. Alright, green and purple is the left and the right, left, right, left, right. And these are the rear. Yeah, no, this is like watching paint dry. But if you don't take the time now, then you'll end up paying for it later. So just take our time, make sure we get everything done correctly. Almost got hit in the eye with the plastic. Didn't know I had to wear safety goggles for this, just to run a wire stripper. Okay. Alright, green is the left. And the black stripes are the negative, so... I'm going to put a RE on these because I don't want to mix up the R and think it's the right. So I put a RE on there. That was the negative. Left positive. E. And the purple is the right. Okay, that's almost all the wires. I just have 3 more wires. The yellow is the positive for the power. The red is the accessory. And this is the remote, and it's already marked. So I'm going to not bother with marking that or stripping it. I don't believe I need that. So this covers the wire and harness for the radio. Alright, I have to make sure I pay attention to the battery life on the camera. Just as I finished up the last portion, which I believe was talking about the remote on here, which I guess switches the amp on or off, power died. Camera went off. I was like, what happened? Alright, all the wires are stripped on this side. This is the radio harness. Everything's stripped. and ready to go. What I'm going to do is I'll twist them to the one for the truck, the wiring harness for that. And what this will allow me to do is once I put these together, I can just plug this right into the truck. I don't have to cut the wiring harness on the truck and splice everything in there. That's that side. That's the book. Don't need that anymore. Okay. So there's two different ones. Alright, so red on here. Red on here will connect to the red here. And this is the accessory battery power memory. So we'll twist those together. And we got a little electrical tape here. Some skizzers. Okay. Actually, no, the accessory, that's the... When you put the ignition on, the yellow. Yellow on here is the battery, and that connects to the yellow on here. So let's twist these two guys together. Back together again. Some tape. This way we don't short out anything while we're testing it and setting it up in the truck. Alright, so black is ground, which is also our black over here. Let's wrap those two together. Did a really good job of twisting those together. Don't worry, my solder job I think will be better than my just regular wire splicing skills. Alright. That takes care of that one. Blue is the one that's right here. That's for the power antenna. I'm going to skip over that. Let's see. It's telling me there's a blue and white wire. Is it one of these? Because they're both blue and white. There's 4 of these, so that's a little confusing. It says on here, I'm referring to the chart on here, for the amp turn on, there's a blue and white, a black and white, which is the amp on and amp ground. So maybe it needs 4 wires for that. Well, if that's the case, I'm just going to skip that because I don't need that, and I won't need this harness either then. The orange wire is the illumination, and there is no illumination on here because that's controlled by the radio itself, so there's no need for that. So let's see, that just leaves the speaker wires, which I believe are probably all these guys here, which are probably the same colors. Let's see, dimmer, orange and white. No, there's no orange and white. Phone mute. Nope, don't have that one either. So this must cover multiple vehicles, because the colors they're mentioning on here aren't on the harness. I'm holding the harness. I don't see a orange and white. I don't see a brown for the phone. So let's get into the speakers. So the gray over here, the gray, this is the aftermarket, and the gray, is it gray over here? Would I be lucky enough for it to be that? Let's see. Well, look at that. Those are front, and they are right. Okay, cool. So the grays are right front. The grays on the other are white fronts. So solid gray is positive. The gray with the black stripe is negative. So you want to make sure that you get these hooked up in the right polarity. If they're not hooked in the right polarity, your sound will sound funny, or it might not work at all. So let's these are just temporary until I get the testing done to make sure that everything lines up. try to speed this up by cutting some strips of tape. Alright, let's get this one taped together before it falls apart. Back in the day when I used to play with doing radio installs, that was a install, and that was all I did. So let's see, we got the gray, so the white is the left front, and same here, white's white. Relatively painless. I guess if all the manufacturers are using the same wire and harness color codes, then it's easy to color coordinate your aftermarket setup so they're the same. So white with black stripe, which is our negatives, or put them together. Piece of tape, white to white. And piece of tape. Okay, we're left with green and purple, green and purple. Let's see, right rear is purple, or as they're calling it, violet. Purple, violet, they're the same thing. Did I cut enough? Oh, yeah, I did, okay.